Hello everybody and welcome back to Satisfactory. Today we're going to be taking a look at our first big build in this world. We're out here at the site of it and you can see I've laid out a basic footprint for it as well as something that'll tell us sort of the height. We're here with Pioneer 258 to help us out with the build. And you can see this thing is going to be pretty large. We've got a power plant is what we're going to be building here, a coal power plant. It's going to make use of 64 coal generators in order to provide all the power we're going to need to get through the rest of this tier and well into the next until we have the ability to set up a more advanced power plant later on. Now, we're going to go ahead and do this whole build in the form of a time lapse, but we're going to pause every couple minutes in order to talk about what we've done and why we've decided to sort of build in that way. Once we have the sort of guts of the build all constructed and functioning, then we're going to go ahead and put a nice outer veneer on this thing. Now, before we dive into the build, I wanted to show you guys something I like to do whenever I'm working on a big project like this, and this is set up a workstation. You can see here, I've got a workstation that's got all of the sort of ingredients that we're going to need in order to, as well as a craft bench should I need to craft anything, and an equipment workstation in case I need to make portable miner or something. And this is just here. This will be cleaned up a little bit later, probably. Sometimes I like to leave these around. I don't think I want this one in this location on the final build, but this really gives us the ability to sort of do things on the fly and to make sure that we have all of our sort of stuff done. Another reason I do this is in case I decide to change something up from my original design. This way I have plenty of resources and I don't have to make that long trek back to main base in order to pick up a few more steel beams or a few more concrete or whatever it is. I've got everything I need to sort of build this on the fly right here. Alright, one of the things we're going to need to do before we start working on our power plant is going to be to unlock some of our new buildables. Now, you can see here that we have 117 tickets. What happened there was we were up to, I think, about 45 tickets or something just through the natural progression of the game. I went ahead and I expanded our Caterium processing plant. I went ahead and installed a Mark II miner and set up a full set of smelters, processing things into Quickwire and syncing that, and then left our existing factories running for about 24 hours. I went away. We had a holiday here in America last week. I went away on Thursday morning. I came back Friday morning and we were at 117 tickets. And so that should be just enough for us to get most of the things we want. I think I did a preliminary count and came to 145 for everything that I want. So we'll unlock the rest of that later, but we can get most of the things we want. So let's go ahead and pick some things out. And with that trip to the awesome shop out of the way, our builder selection screen has gotten a great deal more interesting. Let's get into it. All right, and with our first coal power plants all stocked up on coal and water, you can see that our water tower pumping system is working to bring all of our water up to the correct height. You can see our bottom fed belt system is supplying them with coal. I think we can go ahead and start to power these things up. Let's connect up some wires here, and then we will be good to go. Let's do this. You can see I'm hiding the wires here underneath the backs of the power plants, and then we can do a vertical one there, which should hopefully create a rather minimal sort of graphical disturbance to the appearance of the plant. So let's go ahead and do that. You can see that turns on. Beautiful. And if we head down the line, we should have enough coal production for all of these generators, but we're using a manifold system and they haven't all been fully backlogged yet. So some of them may take a little while before they turn on. And once they start turning on, we can disconnect our old power plant, because this power plant is already more than doubling our previous coal power output. So you can see down there we've got 12 coal power plants, and up here we have 16. You can also see that Fixmas has started and has littered our world with presents, which we'll gather up and take care of later. But you can see the coal generators spinning up, coming online, and our production is looking gorgeous. Now, this is only the beginning. Obviously, this coal power plant is pretty rough and tumble. It doesn't look very nice yet, and it's also a lot smaller than what I have in mind. In fact, this is only a quarter of the power we're putting in here. So that's going to be our next step, and we're going to use the complex clearance feature of Update 5 in order to make use of that. So we're going to sort of seat the next power plant up in the gap behind this one, and we'll be running pipes up behind here and then to connect in there. Alright, I've gone ahead and set up a sandwich layer for our logistics for our next set of generators, so let's go ahead and start building them. And with that, our second set of coal generators is online. I have to say, this project was a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. It's taking a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. So we may set this aside for now and then work on putting sort of a facade on the front of the building and then come back and build the second half of this later, because I've been at this for about 12 hours and I am ready to do something else, and I kind of want to play around with the FICSMAS presents that have started to fall all around our coal power plant here. Before we move on, I do want to talk about the mechanics of how our water tower works and how this is working. If you look out, you can see we have a practical forest of pipelines leading up, and there are no pumps on any of them except along this one that runs along the water tower. To understand how our water tower is providing all of the sort of upward lift that we need for our entire system, you need to have a sense for how fluid works in Satisfactory. The first concept you need to know about is called head lift, and head lift determines how far up a fluid can go. By default, a water extractor generates 10 meters of head lift. That means that these water extractors, which you can see are about halfway up one foundation, can go about 10 meters up from that by themselves. If you build pipelines any higher than that, the water won't flow upward into those pipes by itself. So 10 meters is about 2.5 of these 4 height foundations. So if the starting pump is there, then you can see that would go to about there. You can also see just below that is where I've placed my first water pump. Now, pipeline pumps in Satisfactory generate additional head lift, and each Mark 1 pipeline pump provides 20 meters of head lift. That's about 5 foundations. So you can see that every 5 foundations I have placed an additional pipeline pump all the way up to the top. Now, head lift is applied to the entire pipe network that it's connected to. And this is one place where Satisfactory sort of diverges from the real world. In real life, we wouldn't expect a single set of pumps like this to be able to pump for an entire sort of extractor farm the way we have. But that's how it works in the game, and so we can take advantage of that to provide all the vertical lift we need with only a single set of pipeline pumps. And so this water tower takes 24 megawatts of electricity, whereas if we had to provide that individually to each of our power plants, we would take a much bigger hit to the sort of usable generation of those power plants. Now, because head lift applies to an entire pipe network, our water tower provides all the head lift that each of the vertical pipelines in front of our water extractors need to get their water up to their generators. You can also see that I've snaked an additional pipeline along the side, allowing that head lift to apply to all of our water extractors, not just those nearest the water tower.
My God, it's beautiful.
right, and with us at a good pausing point for our power plant build, we're going to go ahead and save the rest of that for another time, or maybe I'll work on it some more between episodes, I'm not really sure. But I want to spend the rest of the day taking a look at the FICSMAS event that's going on. You can see a present coming down right in front of us there. I also want to talk about what our plans are going to be going forward and what the next couple episodes hold for us. Alright, we're back here at the hub. And we have started to do just a little bit of research into the Fixmas holiday event. I've got a constructor going just over yonder that's taking some of the Fixmas presents I found and turning them into the tree branches so that I can make the Fixmas tree and see where that leads next. This is my first time doing Fixmas, so I'm very excited to explore that and see what it does. And that's how I encourage everybody to play. If it's your first time playing a game or experiencing something, I encourage you strongly to go in completely blind and try it out and see what happens. And only after you've sort of seen the lay of the land and either started to become curious and have questions about what's going on, or to feel frustration and want that sort of additional context or information in order to make things easier, to start going through things. And that's how I like to approach a game like this. So I have no idea what's going on with Fixmas, other than there seem to be presents airdropping all around me. I've been picking them up, getting some boxes, and the research has allowed me to start crafting branches to make a tree, and that's very exciting and very fun. I've also noticed one other thing that I'm going to spend a little bit of time doing between episodes, I'm sure, because it's actually a lot of fun, is we have this new game available in the hub, and that lets us play Product Packer Deluxe. You can see I've played a couple of rounds, and this is a lot of fun. It's a fun little puzzler. The idea is to fill in as much of the square as you can in the allotted time, and so you can simply go through and do that, and then occasionally you get these sort of bonuses if you're able to fill in other things. And so you know, we can take that, drop something in there, and we need one of these things. There we go. Put in something there, and you can just play around and have fun with it. And I've been having a blast with this. I encourage everybody to check it out. All right, I also wanted to show you guys this little ditty that I did between episodes, and this is just a reworked Caterium sink setup. Basically, we have a storage container over there that's full of quickwire, and so this is taking a Mark II miner on a pure node, sending all of that down into smelters and constructors, turning it all into quickwire, and then syncing it between these two awesome sinks. That's what allowed us to get all of the tickets for the new buildables, and we're just going to leave this running for a while yet because we need more tickets. I think we still need like 35 tickets to unlock the rest of the things the rest of the cosmetics that are available now, and there's a whole bunch more that we're going to want down the line as well. Next, I wanted to go ahead and change up our color scheme for our factory. The Fix-It Orange is lovely, but I want to play around with some other things and see what you guys think. So I may try out a few over the next few episodes, but I think for today we're going to start with something a little more of a sort of lime green. I'm not sure that we'll stick with the green forever, but I do like it. I like the way it looks in the sort of desert, rocky landscape. It pops nicely in the background that we've chosen for our factories, at least for this stage of the game. And so I think we're going to run with that for today. We may change it next episode or maybe a little later, but we'll play around and find out what happens. All right, the last thing I want to do today is talk a little bit about what's coming next for the series. So I've gone ahead and made a to-do list that really sort of highlights my plan for the next 2 or 3 episodes. You can see that we have a number of tasks here, and we are going to be sort of moving through these at a pretty rapid clip because I want to get into the later stages of the game. That's really where I have the most fun, is designing the sort of more complex and advanced logistics lines and factories that come once you unlock oil and start to get into bauxite and aluminum and things like that. So we are definitely going to be heading in that direction a little bit faster than we have been so far. But we still have a ton to do, and so we are going to play around with the things on this list soon. I think our next episode probably going to start by taking a look at building an advanced steel factory, as well as setting up some factories to unlock the next set of tiers. Alongside that, we may go ahead and finish up the research for hypertubes and sort of build a preliminary network that'll connect up all our factories so we can get around a little bit easier, as well as playing with FICSMAS. So that's sort of our big plan for the next episode. At some point, we also have these other things. We need more hard drives. We're unlocking new recipes, and we're unlocking new tiers, and we need to get the alternate recipes that allow us to take sort of maximum advantage of those new technologies that we're researching. We also need to figure out how to play with sulfur, because there's a lot of explosives. There's a lot of things that need blowing up in this world, and we don't have any explosives, which is a major problem. And then, of course, we've sort of accrued this sort of backlog of tasks to do, upgrading and finishing our existing factories, both the various factories we built around the map, as well as the big power plant that we focused on today. And so those are going to happen as well. So those are a little further down on the list, because I think those are things that I might do, between episodes. And that will do it for today. I have some productive work that I need to get done, but I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Leave a like if you have, and subscribe if you'd like to see more. Thank you guys again for watching, and I hope you have an efficient day.